Fan.
It's a really good piece at Yahoo from Vince Goodwill of just how exciting it is, I think, for the league to have SGA versus Anthony Edwards.
Very exciting for the association.
Now, SGA is interesting. He's probably going to win his first career MVP.
He's an overwhelming favorite, right?
Yep. The voting is already in. So we will find out who's going to win that award soon. But it's an award Anthony Edwards doesn't have. And he's sitting in a position that Anthony Edwards wants, and that's being the best team in the league.
Yes.
And so it's just such a fascinating setup where so much of that league, whether it's right or wrong, is basically the narrative about who wins and who doesn't win, who's clutch, who's not clutch, who comes up when it matters most.
Right.
And with the amount of talk Anthony Edwards provides, I'm so interested to see what this is going to look like when it actually tips off, because I think the Thunder have outmanned the Timberwolves.
Yes.
Now, Randall's playing really well right now for them. I thought McDaniel got to go in late in that series against the Warriors. They need Alexander Walker to play well. Mike Conley's a little bit of a liability, but he's a veteran threat. Yeah. Rudy Gobert has had some moments. And it's, is DiVincenzo going to get it going a little bit here? If some of these things happen, Timberwolves can absolutely find themselves in the NBA Finals. But as we go in, it becomes the face. It's this guy versus that guy.
Yeah.
Even if they don't always guard each other. But it's just, I feel like most sports fans are leaning towards wanting Anthony Edwards, whereas SGA is quietly going to win the MVP. He's sometimes not even the most recognizable person in his own TV commercials.
No.
And he's got the best team in the league with all the depth in the world.
That's the funny thing about the way we talk about this. The numbers were incredible for what he did this year, but I don't think anybody would disagree with the fact that SGA's team is better top to bottom than Anthony Edwards. Like, it's not even a debate. Doesn't mean Minnesota can't win the series, but if you're picking a roster and where to start from and who you're playing with and alongside, you would take OKC's running mates or SGA's running mates over Anthony Edwards, which is a funny thing on the outcome of this. If SGA wins, it doesn't necessarily mean that he's more of a face or more deserving.
Who's the third best player in this series? If we establish whatever, if you want to say SGA, fine. I think some people would take Edwards 1 if you were drafting a player, but
I would, yeah.
Okay, let's just, for argument's sake, doesn't matter the order, they're 1-2. Who's the third best player in the series? Because sometimes in the playoffs, it kind of boils down to,
yeah, if both those guys are going to go for 30
at a
a
high
game.
level.
if they cancel each other out with greatness.
Yeah.
Which you assume that they will.
Or
but
their
not a
play in
guarantee.
general. Who's the third best player?
I think that determines who will perform.
Because I have one.
Is it Julius Randle?
I think it's Julius Randle.
Is it Jalen Williams? Is it Chet? Who's it going to be? And that will determine.
Well, but I don't want to act like Game 7 didn't happen how it happened. It's easy to see the score and the third quarter run mixed with the end of the second quarter run and say, well, blowout city. I don't know, man. I watched that game, and I would say 88% of the first half, Chet and Jalen Williams didn't look comfortable.
No, they looked incredibly uncomfortable.
And they
Jalen got it cranked up on the defensive end, got out in transition. And
once that happened, he was fine. Yeah. But before that, there wasn't a lot going on from either two of those guys, and they didn't have good Game 6s.
Nope. You got the experience factor on this side on Minnesota, too, because they were there last year. The majority of the guys were. I know some new players, but DiVincenzo and Randall have been on playoff runs as well.
Yes, they have. And Randall largely was a playoff no-show for a lot of people's estimation. So
He was a guy at the start of the year, too, that everybody pointed at and laughed at and said, how the hell is this going to work out? What a terrible trade.
So is he the third best player to you?
I don't know. I honestly, probably. That is such a not confident answer, though.
He's playing very good basketball.
He absolutely is playing very good basketball. We've also seen Jalen Williams have games where he's taken over and been the best offensive player for Oklahoma City. Now, it's not happened consistently for him, and that's the thing they'll have to figure out going forward. But he had some massive games against Denver in that series. I want to say Game 2 or Game 3 he went off and carried him offensively basically the entire time. I don't disagree with the point of maybe, and I would have said this for Denver as well. Like, I think you could make an argument, Aaron Gordon or Jamal Murray, maybe you would take over insert Chet or Jalen Williams. But just from an overall talent standpoint and depth standpoint, like OKC has the better roster. There's a reason they won 68 games in the regular season.
But Minnesota's length and athleticism is something that's interesting to watch in this matchup of how they're going to rotate, who do they put on who, what do they do with SGA? Do they flash two at him? try to get the ball out of his hand, or do they play it straight up and say, we have the dudes that can do this?
Yep.
And that I'm curious to see that because, yes, the depth is in Oklahoma City's favor, but Minnesota has that kind of length and that roster where if certain guys can play a certain way, they're going to make things very uncomfortable for Oklahoma City. And the rest versus rust thing, like Oklahoma City's coming off of a Game 7 in which they ended up blowing it out, but they're also coming off of a Game 7.
Yep.
That's a physical, emotional series they're coming off. That was a big step for a young team to take.
Loss in Game 6 2 nights before.
Minnesota's taken care of both series in 5 games, made quick work of it. Now, they haven't played perfectly. I've been questioning that on the show.
They've gotten they've caught injury breaks as well.
But they have an opportunity for some of their guys to kind of show that they can step up and they can play against this team. Despite maybe being outmanned, maybe they have more talent.
Yeah, I'm betting on them. Give me those odds. I'm taking them.
Do they win it in 7?
I don't know. They're probably not going to win it, but what the hell? Dare to dream, right? Give me Anthony Edwards in the NBA Finals. He's such a better face than SGA. He's more entertaining than him. It's nothing against SGA. He's a hell of a player, but give me Anthony
Is this exciting
Edwards.
for people? I'm not kind of getting a vibe from – I'm getting it a little – you don't seem very excited.
I'm
I don't know
very
how
excited.
people are
I'm
for
massively
this.
curious. I'm taping these games. Hops are home this week. I want to watch them. I want to see the X's. I'm interested in the basketball of this and see how they do it. And again, what do they do with Rudy Gobert? Can the Thunder force him out on the perimeter? Do they leave him kind of underneath like a little one-man zone and try to funnel SGA towards him, make him give it up? I'm curious how the X's and O's work out.
You guys are leaning me. You don't want to preview much. You want to see it, don't you?
Baby Jordan. Give me Baby Jordan tonight, man.
You want Baby Jordan?
Baby Jordan.
What is the spread? Is it like
7.5.
7.5 for the Thunder.
a lot of points?
I'm going money line. What the hell?
Well, I think the way the Thunder have played, why would you not roll the dice on the Dogs? I mean,
Yeah,
unless they dominate them tonight, and it just looks like an
Well, they
absolute.
had
biggest
that in
thing
game
for the
2 as well, though,
Timberwolves-
in the second round.
That's
Remember, they
true.
won the game by 40, and you're like, okay, here comes OKC, and then they found themselves in
Well,
a
the
game 7.
Timberwolves have sometimes gotten a little loose with the basketball, and so if the Thunder put pressure on the perimeter and can get turnovers, and that's how they can blow them out, obviously.
Yeah, I would say with Minnesota, like, there's no doubt they've been loosey-goosey and at times not played maybe up to their standard or looked as good as you thought that they would. I also think there's a mental aspect of it for them of, like, when Steph went down, they knew the series was over. And so, you don't want to just give them a break for that, but I think they understand that their A game is going to be needed to beat Oklahoma City 4 times.
Randall is averaging 24 points on 51% shooting. He's grabbing 6 rebounds and getting 6 assists in the playoffs.
He's been great for them, man.
I'm curious with his veteran prowess, if he keeps his good play up, does he get a Chet in foul trouble? That's the other part we don't talk about enough is can some of these vets of Minnesota, with their experience, kind of lure some of these younger players, OKC, who have their experience as well?
Yeah.
Can they get them and get them into foul trouble and kind of mess up some of the rotations?
That feel good? Is that good?
It
You
feels
rubbing
yeah,
your nips over there? Uh-huh.
feels a little alone. I'm gonna feel a little alone here, but
Hey,
I
I'm
get it.
here.
I
I'm
get
along
it.
for the
I
ride.
get it.
Basketball dirt's dead, but I'm still trying to go zombie basketball dirt.
I would describe the vibe of the show talking about this series of I don't want to go too in because I don't want to be tomorrow stupid.
Oh, that's okay. I'm gambling Minnesota money line tonight. You can make fun of me all you want. Give me those odds. I'm rooting for Anthony Edwards. Not going to be a huge bet. Let's go T-Wolves, baby.